This is John McGovern with Chimney Check Professionals. This is the video portion of my inspection. This is where I take a look at the inner walls of the chimney system. What we see from the top here is that there is no spark arrestor, because if there were, I wouldn't be able to see what I see right now. There should be a spark arrestor, and there should be a rain cap on the top of the system. The spark arrestor is a code requirement for fire safety and has been a requirement for many, many years. The rain cap is a requirement since 1991, so one could argue whether or not one had to do it. It's a minor point. The spark arrestor is what's needed, so if you're going to put a spark arrestor on it, you're supposed to put on the one with the rain cap, so we might as well talk about a rain cap. As we bring the camera down, we can see this is a clay liner system. And when I look at a clay tile system, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for gaps between the tiles, whether or not they are or not present. If they're not present, then I don't really say anything. If they're present, then I talk about a correction, which is basically a tuck point job or regrouting between the flue tiles. This particular system has missing grout between the flue tiles, which is fairly common. It's not like this is the only fireplace in LA that has not been maintained or repaired since its creation. That's very common. Now keep in mind, when I use the word typical or common, it doesn't mean that the work doesn't need to be done or that it's not considered fire safety. It's just trying to give you a judgment that it's not like this is the only house or condominium unit with a fireplace that needs repairs to bring it up to its original manufacturer's or original code requirement in this case. So again, we have basically missing grouting between all the tiles, which again is common. What the code is looking for, or when the code was created, is a term called struck, which what that basically means is filled and smoothed. And you know, some of them, of course, we don't have gaps everywhere. Obviously, we can see, if we come over here, that you know, there's no gaps here. Ideally, though, we wouldn't have the rough surfaces here. We're supposed to have it smooth, but that's not a big deal. Certainly wouldn't be making a big deal of rough surfaces inside. This is where we come to the bottom of the flue system and the beginning of our smoke chamber. We can see a lot of rough and jagged surfaces in the smoke chamber. You can see some gaps where the smoke chamber meets the bottom of the first flue tile. See some unlined surfaces. Damper here with some debris back there, not a big deal. We have a gas log system that has a flexible gas line, which the flexible gas line is okay for a fireplace that has a gas log system. If you convert it to wood burning, then technically you're supposed to replace the flexible line with a rigid line. Now we have some shifting of the finished materials just at the left of the firebox. What I am not here for are finish surfaces as far as determining why the shift is here, etc. In tapping on it, I don't feel any looseness of it. The minimum one would do is seal this area. Now as we look at the underside of our lintel breast area, we can definitely see some smoke staining, but not as much as I would expect considering the shape of the firebox. This is a two-sided firebox, and they generally have a tendency not to draft appropriately, but the indications are that yes, we've had some drafting issues, but not as much as we normally would. I think with correct operation of the system, it should draft fine. I see a little smoke staining there, so again, it's not perfect. But some dust collection up here, so I don't think the system's really used a lot, but probably has been used at some point in the not too distant past. Okay, the valve. We have a gas valve over there. you know, technically it's just too far away. Obviously, it can be workable in that location. The concept is we want you to be able to turn on the valve and have your match or whatever you're going to use to light this, basically do it at the same time, as opposed to turn the valve on and then come over here and then put the flame inside of here. Obviously, it can be done in this manner, but technically 4 feet is really what we're looking for, a maximum of 4 feet. Screens over the openings. We should have a screen over both openings for what's considered fire safety. Ensure you review my written report for all my findings and recommendations.